G'day guys, just welcome back to another video. I thought I might perhaps do another sort of movie review style video for you again. I went and saw the new Resident Evil movie, the Resident Evil Retribution, the fifth movie in the series. We're up to number 5 already. So I thought I'd just do a bit of a talk about that, I suppose. I suppose I haven't sort of played, I've never sort of played the games before, but I did have a few friends that sort of played the. So I've sort of seen them, sort of watched them for a few hours, sort of watching them just sort of play the games, and it seemed like a fairly, pretty cool game, and I just looked perhaps a bit too hard, perhaps for me. I didn't think I'd be very good at it, so I never really bothered to try and play them. But I mean, I've sort of seen. I think I've seen all the movies, or the fifth. I've seen all 5 of them. The movies. I mean, they've never really been, sort of fantastic movies, and a lot of people complain about, because they're nothing like the games and stuff. But I suppose I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, you don't necessarily need to follow the games exactly, do you? But yes, they've never been really terrible, very good movies, really. I mean, the first movie, I actually didn't mind the first one. I mean, it was nothing fantastic or anything, but it was nice sort of, action zombie flick, style movie. The second one was sort of set in, I think, pretty sure it was set in, Raccoon City, which was sort of more of the same. It wasn't necessarily as good, perhaps, as the first one. Then you had the third one, which I've actually got, Resident Evil Extinction, which I thought was, it wasn't too bad. It's just sort of set, this one sort of set in the desert and sort of finding zombies there. It's probably my, I don't know, probably my second or third favourite, probably out of the lot. It's not too bad, I suppose. And I've also got the fourth one, Resident Evil Afterlife, which I did sort of enjoy it. I think for some reason I really enjoyed this one. I don't know why. I mean, I think I've made sort of said before in another video. I mean, absolutely nothing sort of happens in this movie. It's just a filler movie, which is sort of why I wanted to watch the fifth movie, the last one, because I thought it might have been a bit of a like a conclusion type thing, or sort of tie up some of the loose ends, I guess. But I mean, there's nothing happens in this movie though. I mean, you sort of carries on from the third movie where I think Jill escapes to some sort of island, especially like where all the survivors are apparently. So he sort of flies off there, and then we got Alice in the beginning of the movie. She's in a plane, and she sort of flies off to this location to try and find Jill again. So she sort of gets there and she can't find Jill, but she eventually does find her, but she's got some sort of a thing on her chest, and just sort of a bit of a mind control or something. But Alice, the main character, Mila Djokovic, she sort of manages to rip off this thing stuck to her chest, and then Jill comes back to being normal again. So they both get in the plane and they sort of go into the city, and then they sort of see this sort of building with sort of help written on it, and some survivors on top of the building. So they sort of land there. They have a bit of a conversation there, and then this sort of big boss guy turns up with a big sort of steel sort of hammer type thing. So so Alice has got she sort of defeats him, and there's sort of all these zombies sort of break out and they try to attack them. So they've got to escape. So basically they get back into the plane, and they sort of land on this sort of aircraft carrier. Then we sort of see the main villain type guy. So Alice sort of fights him, and then sort of obviously then the movie, the movie ends then. So just nothing sort of happens in the movie at all. But anyway, so we got on the fifth one, which I sort of went and saw 3D. A bit of a sort of spur of the moment type thing. My friend sent me a message on Facebook about an hour before it started, asking did I want to go. I said, yeah, okay, fair enough. So I went there, and I didn't know it was actually going to be 3D. So I think it was like $18, I think, to go and see, which I thought was just pretty expensive. That was on Friday. I think I normally go on a Tuesday because it's only like $10.50. That's just for a normal movie. That's not for a 3D one, but that's a big jump though. $10.50 up to $18. But anyway, so we went and saw it. I mean, I did sort of enjoy it. I mean, it was really nice sort of CGI to it, and sort of comic book style atmosphere to it. The visuals were really good, I thought. The storyline just didn't. Yeah, I was really hard to sort of work out what the hell was going on. really. I was thinking before how to try to explain the story a lot, but I don't think I can really explain it very well. It sort of jumps around all the time. I mean, we sort of get this scene where I'm just trying to think. It's not the very first scene, but there's a scene where it's like like a, I don't know, like a clone of Alice, I suppose, where she's in like a normal scenario where she's got like a husband and a daughter, just like a normal sort of family, I suppose. Um, but I think we sort of find that's just like a simulation. I think that's what the whole movie's about. Just all these different sort of simulations that sort of Alice is going through. She's got to sort of fight her way through these. Kind of like I suppose like some people complain about these movies not being anything to do with the games, but this movie I found was very sort of had a very sort of gamer style to it. I mean, she sort of like fight her way through one level, the door would close, and she'd sort of start on the new level sort of thing. I think that's what it was. Just all this sort of simulation she had to sort of go through. It was like a Nazi zombie type simulation. So I had to sort of fight through that, and the scene sort of recreated perhaps from I think it's the second movie where they had like I think it was in Japan. I think it was in Tokyo. They had like a crosswalk type thing. All these people walking just walking across, going to work or something, and in the rain, all this rain sort of pouring down. Then of course, out of nowhere, this zombie girl sort of just attacks one of these, I think it's like a Japanese businessman or something, and that's supposed to be simulation, and it's I don't know, I can't explain, I suppose, what's happening, but that's what it is. She's sort of fighting her way through all these simulations type things, and she's got to sort of look after the little girl too throughout the movie. She's for some reason this little girl's there. She has to sort of look after her. And she thinks, well, obviously the girl thinks that Alice is her mother. So I think that's why she's there. Also had Michelle Rodriguez in it as well. She was sort of playing two roles. It's like a sort of a bad, she's on like the umbrella side type character. And then there's also I'm not sure another version of her where she's just like a normal civilian type thing. Never sort of fired a gun before type thing, and also had like the main villain type guy. He was sort of on Alice's side in this movie because I think she's sort of locked up at the beginning of the movie. She's sort of locked up in the umbrella facility. He's got to help her escape type thing because I think the Red Queen little girl from the very first movie, she sort of wants to destroy everything or something. So the main villain guy's now on Alice's side. He's got to help her escape from this facility and sort of fight her way through these, all these sort of simulation type things. But I mean, that's probably I don't know. I found it a bit hard to follow. I did have to go. I sort of left the theatre and sort of halfway through to sort of go to the toilet and for 5 minutes and came back again. So I don't know if I missed anything major, but that's I don't know. Perhaps someone else can perhaps explain it a bit better than I can. But that's sort of what I got from it. But I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it was, in terms of it had some nice 3D to it, and nice sort of gamer style atmosphere, and sort of comic book style, very sort of sucker punch type. I thought to it, like all these different scenarios, Nazi zombie sort of scenario scene. They had like all these Raccoon City scene. They had like the Japanese crosswalk, in the rain type scenario type thing. I don't know. It was really just all these different scenarios you had to sort of fight a way through, type thing. But I mean, if you sort of like the other movies, I'd probably recommend perhaps going to see it. But it's definitely nothing. Definitely wasn't a fantastic movie. It was just a bit incoherent, and I don't know if it was perhaps. I mean, sort of going through. There's a lot of simulations and a lot of what's real and what isn't real type thing. I don't know if it was some sort of deeper meaning to the movie somewhere, which I sort of missed. But I don't know. I think it's just more of a normal action flick made for the money. I think. I mean I think Chris Stuckman, he made a video which I watched the other day, and he sort of went into how much all these sort of movies made. I think that's why they sort of keep making them, because they just make a huge amount of money. I think he was saying, I can't remember the exact numbers, but he was saying the very first movie was made for like around 30 million, and it made like 150 million, and the later ones they sort of had a bit more bigger budget, 30 or 40 million. I think the fourth one, the Afterlife, I think that was made for 40 million, and I think it made $280 million or something like that, which is just absolutely ridiculous. I think that's why they keep making the movies. But I'm pretty sure they're going to make a sixth one, because it seemed to be open up after sort of watching the fifth one. It seemed to be opened up for a sequel. So which is, I don't know. I was sort of hoping this this movie he was going to actually be the final one to it, just so we could sort of get a bit of a conclusion or something to it. The last, definitely the Afterlife one was definitely just a filler movie. For nothing really happened in it, and this new one, pretty much I think happens in it either. So I don't know. What they're. I suppose just going to keep making them until they make them. Yeah, till no one goes to see them, I suppose. But anyway, yeah. So that's my sort of mini ramble review video for you. Pretty sure I covered everything I wanted to sort of say. Yeah, so if someone's sort of seen the movie, definitely leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you sort of thought of it. If you disagree with anything I said, whatever. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye.